It's Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. I'm Richie.
I'm Pete.
I'm Chris.
I'm Daz.
And I'm Rafa Benitez. Daz, run the intros.
You're the joker, the expert, the voice, but you're one of the crowd. A vision of weakness you don't.
Well, I wish I was Rafa Benitez and I had it because I would move out of my house from under the stairs, get rid of me kids, and I might be able to sit here one night and do a show where it's not like a fucking train station under me. But anyway, welcome to the last ever Loaded Football Weekly. It's gone. We're not doing it no more. We've had enough. Breaking news. Loaded Football is no more. We're gone. We're checking out. But the good news is that we are going to continue doing some different shows. We are going to continue with Loaded Mag. We've got some great ideas, which I'm sure Chris and Pete will talk about, with regards to some new football shows, including some format of a fantasy football show, fairly formaced, that's a new word I just made up, fairly decent football show. Richie is going to be looking at doing something with the music, so I certainly got a few DMs and tweets this week about, don't get rid of the music and everything else. But yeah, we are going to get rid of Loaded Football. It's been good. But I suppose from my perspective, before I move on around the houses, it's kind of too long. The show is too long. It's not really grown the way we want it to grow. We've got our regular people, the likes of Dave and Trolls and all the people that come on, Keith, who's been on with us, Julie, John Justice Allen, people that watch us regularly in and out, and that's been great. But in particular for Daz and me, when we started the channel, we wanted to do a certain thing, and it's, we put a lot of hard effort and a lot of hard work into it. In particular, Daz, I don't really do that much. I come on, fuck it up, mess around.
I testify to that, yeah.
Yeah, and, I get away with stuff, pretty much every week. And for a 51-year-old fat lad living in Ireland, it's been fun. But, what we've realised is that our bread and butter is with Loaded Mag. Newcastle is where our heart is. And I think that's where we've seen the exponential growth. So I think we need to focus on what works well, where we're getting the views. We've done shows with Liam. We've done, we've done a couple of loaded lives where we've done Match Day Live and stuff like that. And that's where we think we need to focus. So we know that the music's good, and Richie will talk about that. But it's just time to knock Loaded Football on the head. We kind of started with an hour. We went to an hour and a half. Then we went to 2 hours. We've had some cracking times and some good bands on, but sometimes we stretch to 3 hours and we've been losing viewers. People get bored. It's too long. Nobody's watching it on the back, on a rewatch. So you have to accept sometimes that the format isn't as good as you want it to be. And whilst we've had some really good ideas that have come out of it, I think we need to take those, park Loaded Football as what was our first baby, take Loaded Mag and a couple of other shows, and we need to hopefully move that on and bring all of you guys with us. So, yeah, for me, yeah. I've loved every minute since we started with Daz. But, yeah, time to move on. Daz, come on, my co-creator and CEO, come on.
I'd agree with everything Martin said, especially the bit that he does nothing. He does. He put an awful lot of effort in at starting. The reason why we've had so many great bands on is because of Martin's massive effort in listening to music. It's a difficult job to listen to music, as we found out. He told us many times. But no, all jokes aside, no, he did. As Martin says, we want to try go in a slightly different direction. But yeah, we're not gone. We're not gone yet. This is not the official goodbye, at least. We're going to continue with Loaded Mag, and we have a music show that Richie will tell us more about, and a few more bits and pieces. We talked about fantasy football as well, and we've a few ideas. We still haven't even got the time to take those ideas and break them down even further. They're on our backlog, as we say in the IT world. that's it for me. We're going to go out with the bang tonight. I'll hand over to Chris next, because we brought Chris in pretty much at the very start, just a couple of weeks before we went live, Chris. Yeah. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, do you know what? It's sad, and if anyone hasn't watched the goodbye video, you should watch it. It's quite emotional, and do you know what? It is sad, but it's not. It's what is it they say? It's not goodbye, it's farewell. So we're still very much here. We're just going to be doing a slightly different thing, as Martin said. We've got plenty of ideas. We're going to start doing more condensed shows, but keep them focused. So obviously, loads of Mag going forward is going to be something that we're going to keep going. Daz has already mentioned Fancy Fussy. Rich is going to be doing the music. Pete, I'm going to let Pete talk about a show that he's going to get involved in with all of us. So yeah, it's exciting times. I love the yellow banner at the bottom, by the way, Daz. Exciting times. And yeah, just keep tuned, and hopefully we can put out even more great content. Sorry, cool. Over to you, Pete. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Like I say, I think it's important that we're honest with ourselves, and I think with everything that Martin, Daz, and Chris has said is absolutely spot on. And you have to evolve and be honest with yourself and think, right, where do we go next? And I think Chris A in the chat made a really, really good point. It's not even really the end of the beginning, really, because we've got a long way to go. And I think with what we're planning to do and the ideas that we've got, I think it's going to really kick in and take us on to the next level. And I think over the last few weeks, I think we've seen evidence of that. And I think the guys in the chat will probably agree with the content that we've been putting out is far better. But for me personally, I'm excited. We've got an away day show in the build up for next season, working with a number of homegrown fans, as in NUFC fans, but also away fans as well. So we've got a few things lined up. Probably get that kicking off July, August time, ready for the new season, to really, really kickstart the new season and start with a bang. And that's what we want to do. We want to make that impact. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's some yeah, so just following what the lads have said, when Loaded Football started, it's like entering a Formula One car in your first season, and you've had a fairly decent run, but all we're doing is we're just fine-tuning what was already a good car to a better car and adding better components to make us more aerodynamic. That's basically how we've all seen this little process of what we're doing. So obviously, as the lads have already touched on, the music was a big part of the Loaded Football Weekly, and it was something that we thought that we wanted to keep, but as a separate show. So from hopefully next week, depending on the semi-final, if England get there, we might have to rejig the launch date. But from next week, we will have our new music show, Loaded Lounge. So it'll be roughly an hour-long show. We'll have different bands on each week, like we have done during LFW, talking about obviously new singles, their music, etc., like we have done. No quizzes, unfortunately. Chris has been saved from that going forward. So we know you'll enjoy that 5 minutes of freedom extra each week.
Mate, I was honestly, I struggled towards the end, because I felt like every time I was looking for questions, I'd say, "You've done that, yeah, answered that, yeah." And I was thinking, where am I going to get more questions?
So anyway, that, as I said, the quiz is going. But one thing we're also looking to do as a spin-off from the Loaded Lounge is, after we've got started, things going for probably the first 4 weeks or so, what we intend doing is inviting some of the previous guests back, and we're going to do something called a Loaded Lounge Live, where the guys are going to come back and do like a backyard acoustic sessions, or live recordings from the rehearsals and stuff like that. So I've already got bands lined up for that as well, who are going to come back. You'll have loved the music from watching them on the show, listening on our playlist. So it's all good. It's as we said, it's this Formula One car is getting fine tuned, and it's going to be better when it comes out when the new season starts. And I think all the lads will completely agree that the new format going forward will only take the channel to, above and beyond where we thought it was going to be at this time. So it's, we're all looking forward to it. No, none of us are going anywhere, anything like that. We're still a loaded family, and all the content's going to be there. And extra shows, as the lad has mentioned. We even me and Martin are even touching on doing an NFL show come August, September when the season launches as well. So there's plenty of ideas out there, and just be patient. And obviously, we'll get them all rolled out when we get around to them. And tonight, I don't know. Are we going to give them a sneak? Have you got the intro loaded up for Loaded Lounge? Or are we going to keep that as a secret?
No, I thought you might like to keep that to yourself, Richie.
I was also just going to say, sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
But the other thing for those who are watching is that I would like to say is, what would you like to see? I mean, we're kind of happy to look at most things. I'm definitely not wearing a mankini. I can tell you that for neutrals. But yeah, we've got ideas on the music. As Richie said, me and him are big followers of American sports, both baseball and in particular American football. And that's something that we've had an interest in, that we think we might get a few people watching. But people that have watched us, you've seen some of the content, you see what we do on Loaded Mag, you've seen some of the music. Like, what would you guys like to see? What, is there something that you'd like us to cover that you don't think is out there? Is there something that you think, the five of us could bring to this platform that nobody else is really doing, or that would be good fun, or, would make good content? Because, we're not the experts here. You're looking at five lads who started about, 8-10 months ago. We've all got kids. We do it because we love being with each other, and we love spending a couple of hours on a Wednesday having a bit of crack, be it a live lounge or, Loaded Mag or whatever it is, for a love of multiple things. So get the comments in. I can see plenty of comments coming in, but is there anything you'd like us to cover off? Is there anything that's not out there you think the five of us could bring that nobody else is doing, or maybe somebody else is doing it, but maybe we could do it better? Because, I mean, to be fair, we're better than most. But, is there stuff you'd like to see that we're not covering, that nobody's doing, I think is worthwhile putting out to people?
I think Dave's comment that's just coming through is pretty decent one. I've had a couple people mention to me, doing like a non-league footy show as well. I'm
not covering Sunderland at all.
Yeah, well, we can still be picky on content regards that topic, though. Do you know what I mean? So they'll be playing in the conference in a couple of years anyway, so that doesn't make a difference, does it?
Lads, let's get the show properly underway.
Go on,
because we're going to. Our plan tonight was to say thank you for the music, really, and thanks to the bands we had on. So I'm go, and we are not going to be able to help ourselves by talking about a bit of football as we go through, even though that wasn't the plan. So just for the first song, I've picked a song to go with this, and this is the picture to go with. I'm going to play Dictator, even. Dictator.
Oh, hang on, we've got Kim Jong-un's latest hit.
You said...
Get that shit off this screen, man.
No, wait, there's a link in. You said you loved me once, but now we are obsolete. As the song goes from Dictator. And this is Hide and Seek.
Jesus, Daz, you'd be the shittest DJ ever. I have to... Fucking hell.
Ironically enough, and sadly as well, Rafael Benitez has to do a bit of hide and seek for the next
I was just noticing before you just mentioned that, Daz, about his DJ. Look, he's got his gear off. Do you know it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Here we go.
Stood there together, we felt like forever. Don't you cry, it'll be alright. Just follow the music, let it lead you straight to my arms. to my heart. No more happily ever after. We wrote our names down different paths. Come on, you know, will you follow some music and it led you away from my arms? Why weren't you there from the start? Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Well, tell me how that's fair. Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Now listen when I say to you, this ain't hide and seek. You say you loved me once, now emotionally. This ain't hide and seek. This ain't some game that we can be. Stood there forever laughing and smiling. I looked into your eyes and I lost my mind, but it was worth it, and I would do it again just to touch you, breathe in your skin. But you gotta let me in. Can you be lonely and in love? Never meant to leave you hung up, but you let me slide, never let me inside. Though I'm still with you. We were reckless and in love, but we grew up so out of touch. No matter what there's been on the days in between, I still love you. But where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Well, tell me how that's fair. Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Now listen when I say to you, this ain't hide and seek. You say you love me once, now emotionally. This ain't hide and seek. This ain't some game that we can be. Oh, oh,
Love that tune.
That's a great song.
Love that tune.
And they were
That's
class.
fucking good
They
fun,
were
then.
they were class boys, to be fair.
They were.
Yeah.
They were both.
They were that good. You can't remember the names.
Mick, Joe,
Mick,
and
Mick,
Zach.
Joe, and Zach. Exactly.
Yeah, Joe was on with us twice. All
Yep.
Celtic fans.
Yep. Great team.
Great bunch of lads. On the boys. Yeah. So who was messing with the buttons there?
Me.
Who? Yeah, that was. Yeah. So Chris, don't blame me for that one.
That's a good banner. What's wrong with that? That's a good banner. Hello now. That's a good banner. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
For all
You
your
know you
Avon
can-
needs,
still haven't
please
got that
contact Chris
sponsorship
at avon.co.uk.
Oh,
And do you know
God,
the sad thing? We put that. I put that up a couple of times. Imagine if there is a Chris at avon.co.uk and he starts getting emails. Oh fuck! Yeah, better get rid of that one.
He's panicking. He's
I'll
panicking.
delete that one. Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah. Okay, lads.
Publicity.
Let's briefly, because I know you don't want to mention. So Rafa's gone. Who is your next pick for when the takeover goes through for manager? I'm going to go first. I'm going to go for the man who picks himself, Joachim Löw.
Close
There
the
you go.
door, please.
Joachim Löw. He picks himself. Always. He's
Literally.
always at it. No.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Vince wasn't having that joke, was he?
no.
The old scratchy
tried
snake.
I tell you, Daz knows how to deliver them.
Oh God.
That's your part. The bargain.
Can I go next?
Go for it, Chris.
Mate, I've over the past couple of weeks, even before Rafa got confirmed, I've just got in my head now about Conte. I just really want Conte now. I think he'd be fantastic. And what I love about Antonio Conte is, and this is one of my only few criticisms of Rafa, and I'm not going to start bombarding him, but one of my only few criticisms of Rafa was, I loved the old glasses in the pocket thing. Don't get me wrong, but I love with Conte how passionate he is on the touchline. And like, you can imagine if we scores a last minute goal, he'd be running up and down the touchline. We're all buzzing. He's buzzing. I love that in a manager. I like to see a passionate manager who shows his emotions. So yeah, I think Conte. And also what is well, I don't know whether you boys agree with this, but what I also find interesting is when he left Inter and they just won Serie A, and then all of a sudden he left, and I was thinking, why has he left? Like, he's not been, people thought, oh, maybe he's going to Tottenham. There's no other really big jobs out there. And I think, why has he left? And it's all gone quiet. And then I was starting to think to myself, imagine if we've already lined Conte up. Might be wishful thinking. I don't know. But I know when Staveley and the consortium were hoping that the deal would go through, was it 2019? There was talks, wasn't there, of them lining up Ciro Immobile. And they were talking to an Italian manager. So who knows? But yeah, I'd go for Conte.
Cheers, Chris. Anyone else to go next?
Well, I'm not sure if Pete's message in the chat, is that correct?
Yeah, just been confirmed.
Wow.
Spirito Santi Nuno, is the new
manager.
Spurs manager. So there you go. Breaking news. Daz changed the banner. So Nuno is the new Spurs manager. So there you go. Yeah, we don't care about them either. Yeah, in fairness, they've had to go. Yeah, mental. I wouldn't say that's going to go down great. Like, obviously,
no, I wouldn't.
Rafa, here's my 2 cents worth. Rafa's gone to Everton. Don't care. Glad we can now stop talking about Rafa coming back to NUFC. We can put that to bed. Move on. I'm with Pete. Stop talking about it. It's done. We had him. He fecked off to Spain. Took the dosh. In my opinion, he has other motives. But listen, if there's a love-in with Rafa to Newcastle, I get it. Great while he was there, but he went. End of. That's it. Close the book, move on. Daz, I know you're, a bit like Chris with his Andy Carroll thing. There's an infatuation there. I get that. Right? That's great. For me, manager-wise, I agree with Chris A. put in the chat there. I'd love to see Mourinho. I think we would love his shithousery. I think we would love the way he goes on. I think Newcastle fans would die to have a manager like him. I think he would love to manage us. I think it could be a partnership made in heaven. Outside of Mourinho, not too many for me. Conte. Yeah, I think the other one for me, probably Mancini. I think he did well with City. I think he could deliver some success. He's a good man manager. But for me, I think Mourinho is just somebody that I think would fit Newcastle like a glove. So if I had a choice and get him away from the TV and stuff, I'd love to see Mourinho at some point. But hey ho.
I think with Mourinho, I think he's always been that. I don't know. I think he's been that one manager that is made for the club with his connections through Sir Bobby Robson, and he gets the club and stuff. I think it's just unfortunate he just got the Roma job, though, isn't it? So that's the only unfortunate thing. So that was with regards to his timing. I think I was looking at the Conte one. Obviously, I can see where you're coming from. He's obviously doing a good job in Italy and with Chelsea. The thing is, the one thing that sticks out to me about Conte is I was at the Chelsea game when the season they won. It was last game of the season, and Newcastle beat them 3-0, and I wasn't impressed with Chelsea, and that's just been my last impression of Conte. And so I wouldn't, lean that way. The only two people who I think I would lean towards at the minute, and to be fair, because obviously I had this inkling that Rafa was going to come back, a bit like what Daz did. I haven't really thought of anybody else, but the only two that really scream is Mancini. I think he did a fantastic job at Man City. He's doing a great job at Italy, and he's quite strict, but obviously he rewards these players for going along, abiding to all these philosophy and stuff like that, with the deliberate and stuff like that. The other person who, and obviously there's the link there for this, and I would possibly even go for Roberto Martinez, because he's got that link with Graham Jones from when he worked with them at Everton and Belgium. And obviously with Graham Jones there, he'd already run the rule over all the players that he's got in there. He's obviously built a fantastic relationship up with the Belgian players. So you might be able to use that to bring in some quality additions, over the transition period when we're trying to take the club to the next level. So I just thought that was possibly a name. I wouldn't be too disappointed if he was to get the job. Bear in mind he has to Belgium #1 in the world as well. So that's a pretty good achievement. I know he's had some players in that squad for the last 5 years or so, but he's still got to get them there, sort of thing. So that's my two shouts anyway.
Cool.
Look, Rafa Benitez, the less said about him, the better. But two things from me. I said it before, he's desperate. He's desperate to just be in management, and that's why he's took the job. He don't care about the negative press. He just wants his money and he wants to be in a job. He doesn't really care about Everton in the way in which he's said in his presser or his thing on the website. The other thing is Bill Kenwright's comments in the Liverpool Echo today, which was very, very interesting, the way in which he's welcomed Rafa Benitez, or lack of welcome to Rafa Benitez to the club. The comments were, I'll let you guys read them yourselves, but those comments said everything to me about how he feels about Rafa Benitez coming to the club, and it was very, very clear that from the comments that he made, he is not particularly keen on the fact that he's at the club, and actually it kind of reads like he's reserved judgment on him. So very, very interesting to read that.
Pete, sorry, just to jump in, mate. I've not actually read those. What's like the gist of it? It's very, very like.
The key thing is rather than a welcome, it's like 36 words, so it's very, very short and sweet. It's kind of like, and I haven't got it up right now, but it's basically like, hopefully he brings success to the club. Nothing about wanting him at the club and that he's the right man for the club. It was just a case of hopefully he brings success to the club, and that was it. Like it was very, very brief. And reading those comments, it's on the Liverpool Echo, so it's on Twitter. Yeah, I read it on there earlier. That for me said a lot about how they feel about Rafa Benitez. And we've said it before over the weeks. I said it a few weeks ago. Chris said it again on the chat today, and I agree with it, in that he is not going to get any grace if he starts losing matches those fans are going to be on his back, but not just the fans. Bill Kenwright's going to be on his back from the boardroom. Everyone's going to be on his back, and at the first opportunity, they will get rid. Okay, they'll just get rid, and they'll wait and bide their time and hope there's another manager that can come and swoop in. With regards to me, and if we got a takeover manager, all the managers that you've mentioned are all very, very good managers, very, very talented managers. I actually think we're probably going to go someone left field, if I'm honest with you. But if you're asking me, those pool of managers who I'd go for, one that we've not mentioned that was linked heavily in the summer, I would take him back in a second, and that's Pochettino. There's clear he's staying at PSG because PSG had demanded him to stay. But and I thought he really wanted to stay early on in the summer. It looks like he really wants to get out of there. And so I think he'll be lucky to make the season at PSG just because he'll be looking for a way out. And what better way to come out to than a massive project to take on that he was originally linked to. The other one I would go for is Zinedine Zidane, and Tom Dixon put that in there. But a left field one, and one that we've not talked about at all. You've got an outstanding manager in Arsene Wenger that's not at a club. And for me, if you want someone to start a project, like we said, Rafa Benitez, he's the guy that, one, knows how to play proper football, two, can invest in and develop young players, but three, can also spend money on talented players too, and has the money to do so. And he's waiting for the right projects. He's been tempted a couple of times, but a project like that with what we could potentially offer, I think that's too big for him to turn down. So someone like Arsene Wenger would be a left field option that nobody's talked about. But I do actually think it'll be a manager that's not been linked with anybody over this summer at the moment.
Pete, can I just jump in with two things before you go to Rich, just dead quick? In terms of Rafa going to Everton, and you were saying then about, he's not going to be afforded at the time, which is, obviously what we were saying today. That I think that's what some people are forgetting. The fact that did Rafa go 12 games without a win under us, and we were still singing his name. We were still backing him, and we were still all 100% behind him. If Rafa goes 4 games without winning the game at Everton, he's going to be under pressure because a lot of them don't even want him there anyway. And then you've got to ask yourself, if this doesn't go well for Rafa, what then? Where does he go?
His reputation's on the line, Chris.
Yeah,
his reputation's on the line because he'd built his reputation back up to a certain extent at Newcastle and was getting that credibility back. Certainly in England, after his failure at Real Madrid, effectively, him going to China was a big risk, and his next job was key after that. For me, I don't think it's the right job. And I think what this does, it destroys his reputation, and I don't think he gets that back once he finishes at Everton. And honestly, if we get a takeover and he gets sacked, we won't even look at him again.
No, I don't think. Rich, just the last point before I'm going to go to, and I'll go to you with the question, actually, mate. Do you think there's a possibility that if the takeover goes through in end of July, do you think there's a possibility that they keep Bruce and keep him for, say, till January, or see how he goes, and then bring in the person that they want rather than rushing out and going, oh, we'll have him? Do you think they'll maybe wait for a Poch, or wait for a Mourinho, or wait for a Simeone or somebody like that, and think, do you know what, we'll just keep with Bruce for now. We're going to tell him who we want to buy. We're going to do our infrastructure. We're going to do our stadium. We're going to do our training facilities. Bruce is just here to manage the team. We'll give him the players. And then do you think they will wait for the right kind of, the right manager rather than just going for someone? Because I'm assuming they would have gone for Rafa immediately, but now he's not there. I know they'll probably have a second, third, fourth, fifth choice, but isn't it about getting the right choice, do you think?
I don't know, if I'm honest with you, because I think it all depends if and when the takeover gets approved. I think if you've got a substantial period of time with the transfer window open, I think it will be, you've got to start considering, would you replace them straight away? Because then you've got time to work with the players a bit more, with the new manager to work with it. I think the longer it goes on in that transfer window, I think there's more of a chance of Steve Bruce staying on, because he's going to have to have brought players in that he scouted, well, Nixon scouted for him and stuff like that. So I think it all depends on when or if the takeover goes through, and when it does, if it does go through. That's my opinion on that. I think the interesting thing was as I mentioned before about Nuno. Spurs appoint Nuno, who was their 12th choice. We get Bruce off our 12th choice. It's not a really good comparison, is it?
That's good talking points there, lads. Tune in on Friday. We'll be talking more takeover talk on Loaded Mag, so that will be one to watch. But yeah, I know I asked the question, and I've as I said to the boys in the private chat, I've got 19 songs on the system here. I don't think we'll get through half them, but I just want to say, yeah, I like all your suggestions. We're going to be the richest club in the world. We'll take them all on and have a massive session.
Mind's down and in circles. You don't know where to go. You don't know who to phone. You've taken plenty of knocks on. Your chin's about to back in. You don't know where to begin. You sent yourself to the doctor. She sent you on to your shrink. She'll check how you think. When you go out on Friday, it turns out a Sunday. And before you know it, you're going home and it's Monday. You never overdose. You went for one or two, and it turns to a few. Then you look at your phone and you know you should be happy. Your mates come outdoors. You end up session with randoms you'll never see again. They're all fake friends. You're drinking away with gadgets. They're just out the jail. Remand, not bail. My mind's mixed with emotions, no guilt and guilt. I wish she killed. When you go out on Friday, it turns out a Sunday. Before you know it, you're going home and it's Monday. You never overdose. You went for one or two, and it turns to a few. Then you look at your phone and you know you should be happy. Your mates come outdoors. You give yourself a scare. You'll find out who cares when you send yourself back home and you're sitting there alone. And who's gonna back you up and take you back to the top and put the pieces back together and stop you having a proper meal? When you go out on Friday, it turns out a Sunday. Before you know it, you're going home and it's Monday. You never overdose. You went for one or two, and it turns to a few. Then you look at your phone and you know you should be happy. Your mates come outdoors. Your mates come outdoors. Your mates come at dusk. Your mates come at dusk.
I love that song. Class.
Yeah, great song. Great end of lockdown kind of a song.
Yeah.
And you know what? A massive shout must go out to Phil Charletta, because after we kind of started to get into the music and we had Jace Campbell on, we played Jace Campbell, we got him on. Phil was the first kind of musician that we didn't have a clue really what we were doing or what we wanted it to be. And he came straight on, played the quiz, had the crack. We played a couple of his tunes, and the sesh was just a mighty, mighty tune that can be played at any point, but even more so post-lockdown, barbecuing in a pub, listening to a band. It's just a proper tune. And he's a top lad, by the way.
Lad.
Yeah, sound lad. Shout out to East 5.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Got to follow them next season, haven't we?
Yeah. No, Tom, I'm not singing Blade and Races.
Yeah, so send us what you'd like to talk about into the chat, and bear within reason. And if you have any of the bands we've had on, because I have a blast of songs in the system, we could play one of the tunes if it's there. So if you have any,
exactly. The other thing I would say is ask a question. If you want to ask any one of the five of us a question about anything, now's your chance. This is the last LFW. I'll answer anything. I'll tell you what Baz. I'll even tell you what Daz's pin code is. But yeah, look, now's the chance. Do you know what I mean? We're sitting, have a bit of crack. We've got a couple of hours. We've got some good tunes. Ask the question. What do you want to talk about? Ask us a question about whatever. Troll says he asked a question that was tossed aside. Daz, Trolls. Where was it? Where's the question? Let's go back.
There's so much coming at me here, and there's so much to get through. What's the question?
There it is. Is that it there? Was this it here? Hang on. Trolls, is this it? Go back, Daz. You're double. Do you guys think we will get any signings if we don't get a takeover? And if so, do you think we'll get any signings if we don't get a takeover? And if so, who? Simple answer to that, Trolls, no. And if we do, there'll be loans because Mike won't spend money. That will be my view.
I think yesterday that proved that when they were talking about Mario Lemina, weren't they? 1 minute he'd sanctioned a 5-minute deal, and by the end of the day, he was refusing to pay $4 million for a 27-year-old. There you go. I think that answers that question.
Yeah.
I reckon these links are bullshit.
Yeah.
If I'm honest,
yeah.
I reckon all these links are bullshit. I honestly think that some of these journalists are having to pull out stories from various different clubs. I think that Lemina link is bullshit.
And do you know why?
What we're linked with the bullshit as well. I don't think we're linked with anybody. And I think
do you know why?
End of July.
Do you know why? Because there's nothing coming out of the takeover. There's nothing coming out of the cap. There's nothing coming out of arbitration because it's either not started or has started. People clutching at dates, everything else. The problem for journalists, apart from some of the good ones, i.e. our very good friend Liam Kennedy, who's been on the show. If you haven't watched it, go back, hit up the channel, have a look at Liam's interview. It was a really, really good show. They don't know anything. And because there's silence there, you look at Twitter, you look at all the other stuff, everybody's gone quiet. Ben Jacobs, everybody else, there is silence. And all the time that silence is there, and we're pulling up little snippets of who we may or may not sign, keep it going, lads, because that means it's tipping in the background and we know jack shit. Let it roll.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was talking to my brother yesterday about the Lemina rumour. And I said exactly the same thing to him. I said, because he was going, apparently Ashley won't sanction it for the 27-year-olds. Realistically speaking, if this takeover doesn't go through, so say it's off, say they say tomorrow it's off, everything's gone, whatever, Ashley would be all over that kind of deal. 4 million for the 27-year-olds who really, if we were to sign him and he played 10 good games, he's worth 10, 15, 20 million. They do another Willock. So for me, I don't believe the rumour. I don't think that we were even close to signing them. If the takeover doesn't go through, I think we'll be in the bargain basement, as we always are all the time, unless, of course, this young star emerges and we're getting them on the cheap. I think we'll be looking at the likes of Willems, etc. But as Martin and the other lads have already said, Mike Ashley, he's locked the door and he's put the keys on the table. He's not interested. He's not interested in the club whatsoever. And as far as he's concerned, it's not his club. He's sold the club and he's waiting for them to just, sign the contract, get it done, over. Mike Ashley's got no interest in the club, so Mike Ashley won't be bringing anyone through the door. I mean, we've already saved anywhere, well, if you believe reports, anywhere between 80 and 120 grand a week by getting rid of Saive and Atsu.
Yeah.
So the wage bills come down. He's not going to be signing any new contracts. I mean, he may. There's talk of Jacob Murphy. There's talk of Dwight Gale. There's talk of Federico Fernandez. Again, I think he's just going to wait until he really has to, because he's probably thinking to himself, oh, we'll have to do a new deal for them if this takeover doesn't happen. But I think he's going to wait until the very last minute and just see whether it happens or not. And hopefully we find out sooner rather than later. But I don't think there's going to be any incomings anytime soon.
He didn't give a shit about the club at the best of times.
No.
Ashley. So why is he going to sanction deals for Willock and Lamina and whoever else we've been linked with, whether they're frees or not now, when he's on the verge of potentially, like you've said, getting that 300 and however plus £1 million in his back pocket? Why would he do that? It wouldn't make sense. If we were in that position, if we were in Mike Ashley's position, and take the love of Newcastle aside, if we were in his position, I don't think we'd do it either. If you're on the verge of potentially leaving the club, you would not invest more money into that club. If you're about to leave it, you would then wait for new owners to go and put their own money in, and you walk away. So it makes sense, although we would disagree because we want a team that are fit and firing and ready for the new season. But as I've said before, when has that ever happened? We signed Ryan Fraser, who was a free transfer, and Hendricks and Wilson last season with just over a week to go from the season starting. We don't plan well as a club anyway. So
it's like selling a house. You're not going to advertise your house, sell it, and then go, oh, actually, I might do up the kitchen.
Yeah, you're not going to do it.
You take the money and you run. So I know some fans, some people listening will be disappointed, but I'm 100% with Chris and Pete. There will be no incomings until we've got a decision. And when we do get a decision, it'll either be great, ecstasy, we move on, we've got new owners, Saudi investment, we move on, or we don't. And there'll be another owner at some point. Eventually, we will be rid of Mike Ashley. But if we're not, then next season is going to be like this season was. So,
and then it'll just be a patch-up job, Bart.
Yeah, you're better just to...
Is 6 million sorted out?
I'm telling you, boys, I've read nothing about the takeover or anything else. I've tweeted the odd few things this week, more so about the shows, but I haven't read it because when we know. There's no point refreshing and listening to
so
what you're and all the rest of the stuff.
So what you're really saying is that we're lost.
I don't have my phone, I can't find my way home. I feel lost at sea, I don't know where I am, my head's buried in sand. Can you please help me? It's a dead old night and I'm filled with pride. This place is so foreign to me. You're my only hope. Please don't say no. Can you please help me? 'Cause it's pouring down with rain, and the phone numbers I forgot. Can you please help me, my friend? to rest my head. What a kind thing to do. Sleepless I lay there running hands through my hair. What am I going to do? I've got no passport to get some transport. Luckily I have you. Cause it's pouring down with rain, and the phone numbers I forgot. Can you please help me, my friend? 'Cause I feel lost. Cause it's pouring down with rain, and the phone numbers I forgot. Can you please help me, my friend? 'Cause I feel lost.
Hey, nice and
Takes us
fun.
back, that, doesn't it?
Campbell.
Took me back.
Does,
That.
yeah, back at
Yeah.
the start. Yeah, that's a different
Yeah,
version.
yeah.
That was probably when he was really young when that video was done. He's since recorded it again. That's on YouTube as well. But that's the one with the video. So that's the one I said I'd play tonight.
Yeah, no,
But,
that's a good tune.
And now Jace, a good lad as well. We had him on twice. We had him on the show as well. Salford.
Salford Town, yeah, up the Reds.
Yeah.
So, bang, 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 bang. Yeah, there was a few more questions. And I suppose, let's go to the Euros. Let's change tact from Newcastle for a few minutes. This isn't a loaded mag after all. That's going Friday. So let's go. Let's start talking about the Euros. Let's just look at who we're playing, who the next upcoming games. Who you having to go through in each of these? For me, it's Spain, Belgium, Denmark, and England.
It's fucking coming home, boys. Fucking coming home.
Pete's jinxed it. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go slightly different. I'm gonna go Spain, Italy, Czech Republic, and England.
Ooh.
I'll be going Spain, Belgium, Denmark, England.
Same as me, Rich.
I'm going to say Switzerland, Italy, Denmark, and the mighty England. Come on, boys.
And Chris?
I'm going to say Switzerland, Italy, Czech Republic, England.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
It's going to be close. I think there'll be close games, lads. I don't think there's not going to be another 5-0 from Spain. Put it that way.
No.
Definitely not.
The Italy-Belgium one's the one to keep an eye out on, isn't it? Obviously,
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
Big, massive game.
I think it depends on what happens with De Bruyne, though, if he's fit or not. Because he went off in the second half of the last game, didn't he? So.
And Hazard.
Yeah, but when you can, you've still got two potential hazards, literally. There'll be good games, and I think just the games that were on the other night, Spain, Croatia, and Switzerland, France. My God, they were great knockout football games. They were just quality. Three threes and extra times and penalties. It's everything. As a neutral, because it was in England, it was everything you wanted to watch. It had everything. And then, of course, Mbappe missing right at the end for France was just quality. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. The world's best 300 million. Shite can't score from 12 yards out. Get out of it. Yeah, we'll take Griezmann. At least he wants to be with us.
Oh, got a question for you, by the way. Me and a few of the lads were arguing over this the other night. Did Benzema mean that or not?
Well, I think he just tried to get something on it to get in a position. I just think it went better than you expected it to, but it looked good. It looked good. Mate,
I firmly believe he meant it. Like
the little downward kick and kind of through. I think he knew exactly what he was doing.
It depends what you mean by did he mean it. I mean, if you mean did he mean to try and get hold of the ball, then yeah. I mean, because there was a lot of people that were saying, "Oh, he didn't mean that. It was luck and all the rest of it." But you can see he actively puts his foot out to try and drag the ball forward.
Yeah, he's trying to drag it. Yeah. So the action was meant, but the physical reaction was not meant. Is what you're saying.
So it worked out better than he expected. Like one of the guys has said,
because it completely flummoxed the defender. That was why, because he wasn't expecting it.
But for me, if he's got the intention of getting the ball, then he meant it. As far as I'm concerned.
So your script saying that he came to the junction and it was borderline why if he meant it or not. We're back. Yeah, the links are getting worse. I'm sorry.
I love them, mate. I love them.
You're the only one, Chris. You're the only one who loves them. I'll just do a show for you, Chris, anymore. And you can quiz me. How about that?
Yeah.
Next Wednesday. Oh no,
I can give you little slots for you to do it.
We'll be watching Richie's show next Wednesday, unless we're watching the
semi-final next week.
There you go. Now, see, there's trolls. All right, Just keep it to 3 songs so we can just discuss a bit more. Just an opinion. I could be wrong.
That's a good point, and that's what
Yeah.
we do on Loaded Mag. And Trolls, thanks for coming in with a comment as well. This show tonight, though, we're saying we're going to shout out to the bands that we had on, and we'll play a few of the tracks. But we're kind of ditched that idea as well. We're doing a bit of both to keep you guys happy as well. So carry on, I guess. What would you like to talk about now, guys? Any good questions in the chat?
No, most people. Yeah, Troll said keep to 3 songs. Chris, why don't you take me home? Yeah, I think you're. Yeah, listen. We don't want to start. We don't want to start getting into talking about how sorry your wife is, Chris. Do you know what I mean? She's already had to take you home.
Who are you having to win the Euros?
No lighty.
Who's going to win it out, lads? Let's answer that question.
Who's going to win it outright? Italy.
England.
England aren't going to win it, lads. I'm sorry. I am English, but they're not going to win it. Semi-finals are best, boys. I'm sorry, but
when it suits you, you are.
I am, Daz, and I'm telling you, they won't win it. Come up against an Italy, a decent Italy or a Belgium. You don't have enough. And I hope I'm proved wrong. I hope I am, but I don't think so.
For me, I'm going to say it's going to be a Belgium-England final, and it's really how bad Belgium are damaged by that stage. If England can do it, but as I said before it started, I said I backed England.
There's nobody to fear, right? Let's get that right. There's nobody. I mean, from a point, and maybe somebody correct me if I'm wrong. For England not to get to the final, given what they've got up against them, quarterfinal and semi-final, in my opinion, from Southgate and those players that he has, would be, I don't want to say the word disgraceful, would be underachievement. Thank you, Richie. Would be an underachievement. But there's nobody in amongst any of those other teams that as with that current England team that I would say we should fear. However, if we get to a Belgium or an Italy or a Spain or whoever, I think Southgate would have to change it up with the likes of a Grealish or a Foden or whatever from the start. I think if you play an Italy or a Belgium with 5 defenders and two defensive mids, I don't think that works. That's my opinion. And therefore, I don't think... And I think Southgate, because he was a defender, is too defensively minded. And I think you've seen that against Germany, and that he set up defensively with the hope of a counter or a break and a Sterling goal. And okay, that worked. And England haven't conceded, and that's great. But I just don't believe we have enough to change that up. I don't think he has it in him. I hope I'm proven wrong, but that's just me.
Do you know what? I think the only thing balance-wise regards the England selection he's had, Mark, I think is his defensive selections have been spot on, but I don't agree with his attacking selections. I think that some of the games have been crying out for a Sancho or, even like Grealish from the start sort of thing. I just think he's stuck in his way with his system type thing, but he's I agree with I wouldn't have probably played Sterling first game, but he stood by and he's probably proved to be our player of the tournament so far. So, hats off to Southgate for sticking with him. But if you go back to when we had our watch long against Scotland, everyone was debating, what do we do now against Czech Republic? Do we hold on for second place or do we go for win? And I said, you go for the top of the group, play your home games at Wembley pretty much. And if we'd come second in the group now, we would have had, okay, it wouldn't have been too bad a run. But we came top now. All our games are at Wembley, bar the game against Ukraine on Saturday, which is at Rome. To be fair, that draw could have actually worked out, ended up being better for us as well, because Germany were lucky to get to the round of 16. Hungary had them by the balls, and they were lucky to get away with a 2-2 draw to put them through. So that could have even been an even easier possible game for us. I don't know. Would Hungary have been everyone the expectations been easier? I think I prefer the fact that we've beaten Germany. We've got a monkey off our back now. It's been there for 50 odd years, and people have said we can't beat them in major tournaments and stuff like that. Well, do you know what? That's got and dusted. I think the momentum's with us now, and that's why I believe I might with what Daz says. I believe it'll be a Belgium-England final. And it just depends. The last, like we talked in our private chat about on our WhatsApp chat the other day, last two meetings with both Belgium and England have won one apiece. So I think it's just going to be who possibly turns up on the day. I think, if we get the final against them. What do you think, Pete?
Was that us? Did we Photoshop that picture, Daz?
No, it would be good if it did. I didn't do that.
For me,
When you say we, you mean me?
Yeah. Sorry, you. Yeah. Sorry, Pete. Go on, pal.
For me, I think Gareth Southgate's come under a lot of criticism for his tactics, for his lineup, for his formation, and I think time after time in this tournament, he's proved to be right in what he's done. Has it been pretty? No, but you've looked at the teams that have come out flying, the likes of Holland. And one or two others that have really come out flying in the tournament. Even Belgium, to a certain extent, they were lucky to get through. They did not play well against Portugal. Portugal were the better team. Holland went out when they were like bankers to go through. For me, I would much rather this. What we needed was a spark. We needed a spark to the team to be able to think, right, now we're in a tournament. We needed a spark for Harry Kane. Yesterday, we got both. And for me, I can only see us getting better. The confidence grew. You could see the players when we went 2-0 up. The players with the jubilation that they got from the fans after the game at Wembley. Kane in his interview, he had to kind of check himself before he could even talk because he was that taken aback by the reaction. That, for me, says that they know now that they're in it. And the fact that they're bang up for it now and full of confidence can only be a good thing for this team. Whereas you see the likes of, yes, Belgium have got a talented side. You've got Eden Hazard that's out on a hamstring injury. You've got De Bruyne, who came in injured and is now injured again. Is now 50-50. They've got players that are tired. Lukaku didn't play well until they were holding on the last 10 minutes. And then he was running into the channels. They look like they've peaked and then they're on the way down. Italy, looked like they were flying, then got pegged back. And when they got pegged back, could quite easily have lost the game. So those teams are now, and ahhing in terms of they're not full flow. We're flying right now, okay, full of confidence, and we've not even reached our peak. Now, the one thing for me is, and Richie said, you could argue that Southgate's not picked his strongest team, or strongest attacking lineup. But we've got probably the best attacking lineup of anyone. You forget your De Bruyne's or your fucking Lukaku's and whoever, or your Italian players, your Immobiles and whatever. We've got fucking Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world. Yes, not playing well, but now that goal will kick him into gear.
He's still a goal in him, though, Pete. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't like form is temporary, class is permanent. And we said the same about Shearer in '96 when he came off an awful run of form, had not scored, was included in the England team to go to the Euros. Everybody, but every pundit, including the likes of Lineker and others, challenged that call and went, should he be there? There's better form players, including the likes of Chris Sutton at the time, who was scoring goals and didn't get in. And Shearer went and came out golden boot. Yeah, so, it's just, as you said, it does take one spark. And I think
for me, Martin, sorry, it's all about taking your chances.
Come on, let's take a look at your chances. I see you running around like you're looking for answers. Oh, I know. though. Head back and eyes closed. Open your eyes, we can play hide and seek. We wait, but they'll never find out the truth that you've been keeping from us all. And if it ever comes out, they won't know who you are. Come on, let's take a look at your chances. I see you running around like you're looking for answers. You know, I know. Come on, what you looking at me for? I see your eyes looking up from the dance floor. You know, I know. Don't push your luck now, you're making me so alive. Twisting my arm again. In at the deep end, every weekend. Biting my tongue, making life hard for me. We wait, but they'll never find out the truth that you've been keeping from us all. And if it ever comes out, they won't know who you are. Come on, let's take a look at your chances. I see you running around like you're looking for answers. You know, I know. Come on, what you looking at me for? I see your eyes looking up from the dance floor. You know, I know. Don't hide away from the things you cannot say. Grit your teeth, don't go astray from the things you cannot say. Don't hide away, close your eyes and count to 10. Got to find yourself again. Close your eyes and count to 10. Don't hide away from the things you cannot say. Grit your teeth, don't go astray from the things you cannot say. Don't hide away, close your eyes and count to 10. Got to find yourself again. Close your eyes and count to 10. Come on, let's take a look at your chances. I see you running around like you're looking for answers. You know, I know. Come on, what you looking at me for? I see your eyes looking up from the dance floor. You know, I
Nice one from Deco, who we had on the show going back a while back as well. And Chris, you missed the link in. Yeah, you must have thought there was a good quiz on Chris, the way you left there. But yeah, I think there's some breaking news. Is there, lads, in the world of football?
Yeah, there is. Go on, Pete.
Running across the map?
Yeah, Jadon Sancho to Man U's been agreed at 72 million. Yeah, so I imagine the deal to get wrapped up officially in the next few days. But
They said after the tournament, they reckon, Pete.
Yeah, it's
When England leave.
huge
So
signing.
hopefully after the 11th there.
It better be. It better be. Maybe even a little bit longer there for the celebrations. Fingers
I don't
crossed.
think, Pete, do you think Southgate's done Man United a favour by getting them perhaps getting them a bit cheaper? Because I bet if he'd been playing as good as he had, but his price wouldn't have been 72 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they wanted more, didn't they? They wanted it to be sort of around the 80 million mark.
Was it 105 million or something last year, or so 110 million or something last year? Right, the guy with this was 35 million more than what from this time last year.
Yeah,
so that's a good deal, lad.
And he's still, you know, it's not been as good as last season, but he's got 20 assists, something like 16 goals, something like that, something stupid. The guy's just an absolute talent. You know, he's only going to get better, and I'm convinced that once he plays for Man United, Gareth Southgate will be playing him every England game, because I honestly think that's the reason why he's not been picked. I honestly think that's the reason why Jude Bellingham's not been picked ahead of the likes of Rice. I honestly think if they were in the Premier League playing week in, week out, both Bellingham and Sancho would be starting for England, and equally playing as well, if not better than the likes of Rice and Saka, for example. I mean, Sancho's had such a better season than Saka. Why Saka's playing, I've got no idea. Although I can't argue he has played well, but Sancho's miles better player.
Shouldn't be starting Saka.
I know. Saka played against Czech Republic because the guy that lined up with fullback, he tormented him against when he played with Arsenal against Slavia Prague. I think that was the reason why he picked him.
Right.
But to be fair, the one thing that got me about Sancho was that, especially with Southgate, he's loyal to his players that have got him there. And Sancho was there during the qualifiers. And what's always surprised me is he was involved in the most goals during qualification out of any team. And now he can't even get in the team. So I'm a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah.
They reckoned he was overweight, didn't he?
Sancho?
Yeah, they said that he reported to training overweight. And that was why he wasn't included at the start. And whether Southgate's just thought, well,
I'd say that's nonsense. I'd say the fact with all the transfer going on, everything else, and agents and everything else, I'd say his head was all over the place.
Do you think so?
They've got too.
Yeah, it has to be.
They've even got too much talent up there. If you look at across the England lineup in the way they play, they've got too much talent on there. The one thing I will say though, away from Sancho, right, for yesterday, Dominic Calvert-Lewin wasn't even in the squad. He's barely played any minutes for England. Yeah. For me, I think it's justified because I don't particularly rate him as a player. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he's England quality. I think the back end of his season at Everton has proven what type of player he is. He's a small streak striker. You know, he doesn't go on long periods of scoring a lot of goals. And for me, and it's been mooted in the Chronicle, and I would agree with it. When Callum Wilson's back fully fit next season and playing for Newcastle and hopefully scoring a shed load of goals, he is straight ahead of him in the pecking order. I would have him all day. He for me, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is not a player that you would trust in a big competition. Whereas if you put Callum Wilson up there, pacing and behind, he's shithousery and holding the ball up, making things different, is by far better option than Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
To be fair, Pete, Bamford should have been in there.
Bamford should have been there. Watkins should have been in there.
Because, you know, I've said this numerous times about many competitions, be it FA Cup, be it Euros, be it World Cup, whatever. When you pick your national team, surely across however many leagues, whatever it is in a country, you're choosing your form players. You're choosing the best 22 or 24 or 26 players who are in the prime of their form at the stage of that tournament. So at a stage, if you compare and you take those two comparisons, Calvert-Lewin and Bamford, it's absolutely horrendous that Patrick Bamford was not included. And I know Daz is going to go, let's play another song. So before we do get to the music, the lads from Deco in the last tune, can I just say, he does awfully look like both of the boys from Gogglebox, Stephen Webb and his partner, in that video. It would be hard to choose which one of them he was actually trying to be in the video. But anyway, shout out to Stephen. Stephen, if you're watching tonight from Gogglebox, give us a hook up, mate. I'll be happy to come on and watch TV with you.
Never watched it. Never watched the Irish version or the English version.
Oh, you should do. It's quality TV.
But just back on when you talk about the strikers, who would be the one?
A shame for your curfew. You had your chance, man, but you just let it loose. You had your chance, and yeah, you just let it blow. If you wanna bring me back, then don't touch what ain't yours. If you want to come and answer, then ask your pretty boy. like you had it hidden in your crystal ball. You've had your chance, but you've got nothing to prove. You've had your chance, in fact, you've been given two. If you don't wanna be beaten down, then don't take what ain't yours. You want to know the answer, you can ask your pretty boy. 'Cause you don't even care at all. I won't be coming back no more. Not anymore, not anymore. Because if this is the one, I won't be coming back with you. If this is the one, I know you'll be ready for it too. If this is the one, I've got nothing left to do. Not anymore, not anymore. Because this is the one, I know I've got a burns in my shoe. If this is the one, there's nothing left for me or you. Running around quite elevated like a silly young man with no aspiration. But I won't be coming back celebrated. I won't be stopping back at the station. No. If this is the one, yeah. If this is the one, if this is the one, yeah. If this is the one, if this is the one, yeah. I will be gone. If this is the one, I will be gone.
That was The Underclass. Lovely tune as well. Just want to say as well, before I forget it, thanks everyone for watching. Like and comment and hit that subscribe button if you're watching. I'm sure everyone watching has already subscribed, but anyone watching it back again and playback, hit that subscribe button. Or if you're watching on Wayday Live, Wayday Radio, even Wayday Radio.
Away Day Live. That's a new show.
Write that one down. Write it down.
We're gonna put that down on paper.
Yeah, you could do the voice. You could do the Dino voice, Martin. But yeah, so we're going live on Facebook as well, and I'll be probably playing back on Saturday from 1 to 3, or 1 to whenever this ends. So I think we should give a shout out to the sponsors as well, Martin, or Richie, who would like to talk about MBS. I've got my MBS hat on. There we go.
Do you?
Some would say it does. It's good for the head.
It is.
Go on, Richie.
And the soul.
You've been a little bit closer. So you go for it, pal.
Yeah. So big shout out to Mind, Body and Soul, who do fantastic work for mental health, particularly men's mental health. As we've mentioned previously on the show before, it's more the little things that they help with. We've mentioned as in paying someone's gas and electric bills, getting people to work, putting some food on the table, all little amounts that can cause stressful situations for individuals, families, and that can relieve so much pressure from a family. That someone might feel like they have to do something that they may regret, and obviously would linger on in their family's history going forward. So I know it's only little things, but it's things that make that add up. You can go on the website mindbodyandsoul.uk, where they've got a fantastic range of merchandise, from t-shirts to hoodies to the baseball cap that Daz is perfectly modelling tonight on the show, down to your cups and your coasters. All profits from all of the merchandise 100% goes to any cause that is needed. So there's some fantastic gear. I've seen some people walking around the Metro Centre this week with some Mind, Body and Soul t-shirts on, with the Adidas combos, trainers and stuff on. So it's good to see that it's getting out there, and it's obviously helping a fantastic cause.
Nice one, Rich. And a shout out, of course, to Away Day Radio, to Dino Gary, and all the DJs on the station. And yeah, how about another tune, lads? Do anyone want to give me a kind of a link in? How about you, Chris? Do you feel a void?
Yeah, I was saying, mate. I think there's a bit of a void in the show at the moment. We need to fill it.
Yeah, do you think so? That's a shameless plug there, but we think we'll have to go with it. Here we go.
Class song, that.
Love the Void. Absolutely love the Void.
lads.
Have to go see them live, and there's a few bands on the list I'd love to see live. Martin, we put a message in the system as well. We were talking about it during the week, and you wanted to tell us a bit about this one. So I'll put it up on screen, and off you go.
Let's have a chat. Yeah, so I know normally on these shows I have a bit of banter, and I'm the one that swears and drinks the beers and does whatever, and I speak my mind. But I got a DM and a couple of messages seen on Twitter about this young lad, George, who is a young Arsenal fan, and there's a campaign out there called The Gorgeous George, The One Big Fight. And there's a GoFundMe that hopefully we can get up into the links on the show and stuff. And I want anybody that's listening, anybody that watches this, anybody that follows me or any of the guys on Twitter, get out there and put some money into this fund. So George is, as you can see, a gorgeous little 12-year-old lad who was diagnosed with a brain tumor after being extremely unwell with headaches. He underwent a massive 10-hour surgery, and they managed to remove around 99% of a brain tumor that they found. But unfortunately, following tests, it was confirmed that he has what they call a glioblastoma.
No,
which
it's
is
Martin. It's pronounced.
Go on, Daz.
It's glioblastoma multiforme.
Glioblastoma. Yeah, okay. Well, easy for you to say. But pretty much it's incurable. So they can have radiotherapy, they can put him through chemo, but pretty much the family were advised, his mum and dad were advised to go and enjoy themselves and enjoy what time that they had left with George due to the seriousness and the aggressive nature and type of the tumor. But they're not willing to accept that. And they're now hoping that they can raise as much money as they can through the GoFundMe, because there is an opportunity from alternative therapies abroad. So the guys, the foundation and the GoFundMe, a girl named Amy, who is looking after all of the social media for the One Big Fight. And you can find them, as it says there, at George One Big Fight on Twitter. She reached out. I told her about the show. I said we would give it a shout out because obviously I've 3 young kids. My daughter's 11, so you know it kind of rings very, very true to heart when you have kids. But you know, like, despite the separate teams and everything that goes on in the world of football, we all share the same love, and it's one big family. And I genuinely feel for George and his family and what they're trying to do. So I'm making this appeal on behalf, not on behalf of a guy that sits on, does a podcast, plays a bit of music, chats crap for an hour. I'm making an appeal on behalf of a dad, and being a dad. And I'd like you to go on there, offer your support, hit up some messages, send a couple of messages to George and his family. Amy will get them out there, but more so than anything else, to help them try and get something that they can do something for this young lad and hopefully prolong the time that they have with him. I'd like you to go on, hit up the GoFundMe, and I'd like you to donate, please. So, yeah, look, that's it. You know, I don't want to keep going on because I find it a little bit emotional. But yeah, look, it's a 12-year-old kid. Go out there and help him. It's a little bit of money, you know, rather than, I know people will go out on Saturday night and watch England. Instead of having maybe 2 pints extra, stick a tenner in the GoFundMe. Do whatever you can. But yeah, I'd like you all to do something, please. And I send my best wishes to George and his family. And Loaded HQ1 and certainly us 5 are absolutely behind you, George. So keep fighting, lad.
Keep fighting, George. I'd like to second that, Martin. Keep fighting, George. Yeah. Every case is different. I know a lot about this disease. That's actually what my dad passed away from there about 3 years ago. So yeah, but best of luck, George, and the family. And I think we're going to go straight to a song next, and I'm going to go for Moonlight.
I danced with the moon last night under the haze of his light, intoxicated, done as lovers do. We dreamed of love and I dreamed of you. too good to be true. I'll be the stars, you'll be the moon. Lost in the haze of light, but we know that we'll be alright. We found the start on our way to the end. We found our own ways and everything again. We found our own ways and everything again. Ooh, let me fall in love with you. Ooh, let's feel too good to be true. I'll be the stars, you'll be the moon. Ooh, let me fall in love with you. Ooh, let's feel too good to be true. I'll be the stars, you'll be the moon.
And we're back in the room. Okay, let's talk about love that tune, love everything that Dictator do, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I want to go back to a question that you reminded me of, Chris, from Tom Dixon, and I'm going to throw in two questions here. See what you think. We'll talk about Haaland to Chelsea. Will that happen? And Kane, how will Kane suit Nuno, or will Nuno say it suit Kane? Thoughts?
I think Kane will still go. I think Nuno coming in doesn't really make a difference. I think that deal to City will happen. I think 100 million. Well, I don't know. Pete will probably keep me right here, but is he worth 100 million in today's market? Guaranteed goal scorer? I'd probably say yes. And I think City will pay it. Haaland to Chelsea? Nah, don't think it'll happen. I think he'll stay Dortmund for probably another season. I actually started following Haaland on Twitter. His account's quite crazy. If you're not following him, follow him for a good bit of crack, because like some of the stuff he posts is a little bit out there, but he's a genuinely great striker. But yeah, no, I think Kane will move on. I don't think Nuno coming into Spurs will make a difference. I think Kane is. I think he needs to move. To be fair, I think he's been very, very loyal to Spurs, but I think he's coming to a point where he needs to go. He needs to win something, because I think it's now or never for me. I seen Tom's there. Will Grealish go to Villa? Yeah, possibly, but it depends on will Arsenal give up Smith Rowe. I think there's a bit to be worked out in that. I can't see Arsenal giving up Smith Rowe, so maybe Grealish won't head anywhere. I said, you're going to pay 200 million for Kane and Grealish. Wow, I doubt it.
Yeah, what kind of message does that send, though, if Arsenal get rid of one of their, well, they have so many talented youngsters that they don't appreciate usually anyway, but if they give them up to someone like Villa, who are perceived to be someone that last year could have potentially got relegated, but they obviously didn't. They were stormed the league. That did really well, and they'll do well next year, and they're all about improving. So Arsenal going down and Villa going up.
Yeah, I think Arsenal were where they were rightly in the league where they should have been last season with their performances, in my opinion. I'm sure the red side of London would disagree, but I think they were where they were. I think the thing for me with Villa was Villa's inconsistency. But for me, as a Newcastle fan, I would love the ambition of Villa. I would love to see us chasing the players that they chase. I would love to see us be going and just going, right, let's go 30 million for Willock. I would love to have seen, us put 36 million down for a top striker like Ollie Watkins, bring in somebody to go along Wilson. So you can only, unfortunately, even you look at Norwich bringing in some of the players, like they've agreed a loan deal for Billy Gilmore. Yeah. I fucking wish we had that fucking ambition. And you can take over and everything else you want. We just don't have it. And
there should be someone there running the club in the background. But everyone is checked out. They've checked
heartbreaking to watch. But yeah, I wish we had that. And listen, I wish Norwich and Villa are all the very best in the season because I just wish we had that. I wish we had that. I do.
The Norwich business that they're doing is obviously based on the money that they've recouped from the Buendia sale.
Buendia going, yeah.
So you look at that, you look at their business, and you think, right, they've got a little bit of money to play around, but actually, you don't need to have millions and millions or a huge investor to do the sort of deals that they've got. Or they've got potentially lined up. So that's the most frustrating thing when you look at Norwich. With Aston Villa, we have to remember that they have a very rich owner, one of the richest owners in the Premier League. They got very lucky to get that owner whilst in the Championship. And I think a lot of people do forget that. So they have the backing. They just didn't have the platform because they were in a position where they're in the Championship and then they came up, FIFA fair play and all the rest of it. They didn't want to invest too much money. But when they became an established Premier League side, them staying in the Premier League allowed them to really kick on. And Jack Grealish has been a big part of that. For all the money that they've spent, and I'm beginning to be more and more convinced about it as the days go on, is that money that's being spent is to replace Jack Grealish. And I don't think you can replace Jack Grealish. He's a Villa boy. He's come up from the youth ranks. He's a tremendous player. I don't even think Villa realised how good he would be. They never thought he would be at the level he is right now. I fortunately work with an Aston Villa coach. He's been an academy coach there. He retired a few years ago, but he'd been there for nearly 25 years. And he worked with the likes of Gareth Barry, Gabriel Bonlahor, all those players coming through. Even Daniel Sturridge was there as a young kid. Now, he had Jack Grealish, and he knew the talent with him, but even he didn't expect him to be the player that he is. And he's carried them. You could see when he was injured. So, it'll be interesting to see if he does get sold to Man City or whoever, are they still going to be the same force, even with all these new signings? But, you made a great point about Harry Kane. At this age right now, 27 years old, he's worth whatever you want to value him. Yeah. He's that good. And I think he proved that yesterday. The fact that he'd had so much stick, he's barely scored in the Euros or even had a touch of the ball of any note. But then he comes up with a big moment that lifts the team. You can see the players visibly happy for him to score that goal. And he's the catalyst now that's going to take us forward. Haaland, I don't see him going Chelsea. I think it'd be a bad move to go there. Personally, I think he can go to a bigger club. I think he would rather stay at Dortmund for another year than go to Chelsea, because I think the club that he wants to go to next is the club that's really going places, the big clubs, the top clubs. He's gone to Dortmund when he didn't have to. He could have gone to Man United, but now I think he's ready for the big time. Yeah,
he's a beast.
Go
on, Chris. Just before you jump in, Chris. Very quickly.
Go on.
I know we were talking about the Euros, and we were obviously talking about the game. Obviously, Saturday night is England against Ukraine in Rome, and obviously a lot of fans are struggling to get out there to fly and everything because of COVID and everything else. So you can thank me later. If you drive landlocked from wherever into Italy via the borders, you are allowed to stay in Italy for 36 hours without quarantining. So if you fly into somewhere else, and I'm not telling you where to fly to, and you hire a car and you drive into Rome, you do not need to quarantine, and you will be able to go to the England game in Rome on Saturday night. You can thank me later.
Great, that's a nice one. And Martin, and anyone that wants to contact Martin, if you follow the Loaded Tours, is our new venture. Martin
Loaded
is going to
Tours,
is taking that up.
Yeah.
Contact Martin. He's
so there is a loophole there, lads. Somebody actually, I don't know, it might be somebody watching it, but somebody just tweeted me that link and said, "Can you push this out because you can drive into Italy? You do not need to fly." So there you go.
Martin and Chris, we're going to come back to your comment in 1 second. I just want to know, Martin, do you have any tours to New York?
No. Do you know what, Daz? I have a little bit of paranoia about going somewhere like that with the current COVID. I do.
That's a coincidence.
It is.
And this time, I'll let you take it out on my mind. I'll let you fuck me up for the last time. And then we won't speak again. Don't treat me like a friend. And 9 lives, treating our love like it's a feline. But I'm not your pet, I'm not your lifeline. But I ain't coming home again. Don't treat me like a friend. It's not the devil in my head. It's just the things that you did. While living large in the center of New York, sleeping around thinking you never be caught. It's not the devil in my head. It's just the words that you said. While living large in the center of New York, I've heard the stories from your friends. They all talk. One time, the Saturday night crossed the red line. My heart's been fighting with the late nights of you not coming home again. Not treat me like a friend. Why do you treat me like this? It's not the devil in my head. It's just the things that you did. While living large in the center of New York, sleeping around thinking you never be caught. It's not the devil in my head. It's just the words that you said. While living large in the center of New York, I've heard the stories from your friends. They all talk. It's not the devil in my head. It's just the things that you did. While living large in the center of New York, sleeping around thinking you never be caught. It's not the devil in my head. It's just the words that you said. While living large in the center of New York, I've heard the stories from your friends. They all talk.
I love that bit at the end. It's funny. Love that tune. Great band as well. So, and sorry, Chris, back to you. You wanted to get in there.
No, I was just going to say, based on the 3 questions, yeah, I mean, Norwich getting hold of Billy Gilmore is fantastic, isn't it? Fantastic bit of business. Obviously, you know, it's only going to be for the season, but Norwich, like last time they came up, are going to be very, very careful. They're not going to blow a big lot of, a big loads of transfer money, in case they do get relegated, and then they're going to have the same problem when they go down again. If they stay up, I would imagine they will try and kick on and try and stay. But yeah, they're obviously going to spend that Buendina money as well as they possibly can. I still think they're going to struggle, but I do like Norwich, and I do like Daniel Farke. So best of luck to Norwich this season, and obviously we've got the Tim Cole link as well, haven't we? In terms of Harry Kane, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, he probably is worth 100 million. I've had concerns this tournament over Harry Kane. Like the Harry Kane that I've seen, I know he scored last game, but he just looks off the pace. He doesn't. I wonder whether he's lost a yard of pace or whether he's carrying an injury. I haven't really made my mind up which one it is. But he's still worth the money. 27, 28 is he? You know, he's a top striker, and if you put the ball in front of him in the right area, he's going to score. So it's a good move for wherever he goes. I'm kind of leaning towards Man United now, because if I was Man City, I would be going all out for Haaland, because he's got that links, hasn't he? Because his dad used to play with Man City, and you would just think,
Younger,
imagine Haaland up front. Yeah, exactly. If you either pay 100 million for Harry Kane or possibly 120, or would you pay 150 for Haaland? I know what I'd do. I know Harry Kane's a proven Premier League striker, but he isn't getting any younger, and injuries are starting to catch up with him by the looks of things. Whereas Haaland just looks like an absolute machine. I mean, I know I've already said this before, but you know, he's over 6 foot, and I remember watching that game, you know, where they clocked his speed over a certain distance, and he was like on par with like Usain Bolt. And you just think, so he's tall, he's strong, he's powerful, he can finish. He looks like he's got everything going for him. So if I was City and, you know, money was no object, which obviously it isn't with them, I'd certainly be looking at Haaland rather than Kane myself. I don't think Kane goes to Chelsea. In terms of so I would say Kane to Man United. I could see them getting Sancho and Kane. I don't know why. I just think, you know, Cavani's a fantastic striker. I think Rashford should play out wide. I don't think he's a number 9. So Man United may be looking at this opportunity and thinking, let's get Harry Kane in now while we can. In terms of Grealish, the way Villa are spending, obviously they've, as Pete's already alluded to, you know, they've got you know, big owners with a big back in there. I do still feel that Grealish goes though. I think they will sell him, and that would certainly kind of balance the books for them. I'm not saying they need to, but in terms of financial fair play, if they were to sell Grealish for say 100, 110, whatever it is, it would allow them to then go and splash the cash elsewhere in the team, and, you know, build up the team as a whole, and hopefully try and push forward. If they can get 3 or 4 quality players with that Grealish money, it makes a massive difference.
Cheers, Chris.
Kane's not going to Man U. Sorry, but no.
I don't think he's going. I don't think he's going to go to City though. I don't know what. I know City are alleged to have made a bid for him, but I don't know. I wouldn't be going for him if I was City. I wouldn't.
I was going to say, do you know what? Just to finish this topic off, I just think I can see the link for Haaland going to Chelsea because of Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, his Dortmund link, but I think that's the only reason why I can say that there's this link for Chelsea, because I don't think Chelsea are on the Man City level type thing. Personally, obviously, I've heard. Obviously, we know Kane and Grealish. There's rumours about both of them going to Man City. There's also the rumours doing the rounds that the Man City will have to sell to get both this year. And I don't know whether there's that much for teams who are going to be out there to be able to afford some of the players that they probably will be able to sell. So I think what they might prioritise going for Grealish this year, and then when Haaland's release clause on his contract drops significantly next year, I think it's something like, is it 65 million or something? He's
crazy.
It's ridiculous this year.
You mentioned 75 million or something next year, yeah.
Yeah, next year
I think it is
drops
close to the 70
significantly.
something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it drops
65.
significantly. I seriously think, because obviously they're struggling to buy both this year, I think they'll wait the extra year and go for Haaland and build a team around him for 10 years or so. I just think it's better, more sense.
So, Richie, are you saying that it wouldn't be Kane, it wouldn't be Haaland, it's Sam who is king for you? And that was our mate Sam, who's on a show twice, I think, over the course of the Load of Football Weekly history. Cool.
So you give him a shout out as well, Daz. He's just won an award tonight. He's won Best Newcomer at the Radar Music Awards today. So congratulations, Sam, if you're listening, mate.
Nice one.
Good luck,
That's
Sam.
Sam.
Well done, Sam.
What direction are we going now, lads?
One Direction. Put it on.
One Direction. There's 5 of us.
Imagine if you had One Direction. That'd be fucking cool. That just would have been such a great link.
No, I have this though.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, woo!
To
That
be
makes
fair,
me really,
that's
Wednesday,
better than One Direction.
that makes me really sad that now because
Right, lads.
I need that takeover.
Yeah, I know. That's the question I'm going to ask. Like, when do you and we're getting back to the Newcastle topic as we always do. This is a problem with Load Football Weekly for us as well, that we always go back to Newcastle. But when is it happening for you guys?
I'll
the
kick
next
us
month
off.
happen.
Oh, go on.
Just then, I reckon by the end of July we'll know whether it's on or off.
Yeah.
Keep it straight and simple.
I think I think we'll hear something, but I think if it's a positive, I don't think we'll see any kind of movement or actions or anything until mid-September, late September, October. A lot of chat tonight about the Premier League trying to throw up ammunition to get the CAT action closed down. Do you know what? For me, I just want an answer either way. I just want to fucking move on. I'm fed up with it. Do you know? It's like, like I fucking hate COVID, but I hate the takeover more.
The takeover's been going on longer. It's like 3 years.
I know. It's just
4 years.
From a personal perspective in my life, like I've had so much going on this last 10 months. You lads know that. I've had issues with my mum. My dad passed away. Takeover's still going. I kind of feel like like me personally, I feel like I'm stagnating a bit.
Yeah.
And I just want closure. I've got closure on a few other things, and the takeover is the one thing in me day to day that is hanging around. And as much as I'd love it, I actually just don't. I don't fucking care anymore. If it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, do you know what? It's still going to be my club. It's still my team. It's still the shirt I'll wear every weekend. It's still the match I'll watch. It's still the club I love. Nothing will ever change that. Not Mike Ashley or anybody. Owners will come and go. I want the best for it, but I can't keep sitting refreshing Twitter because my fucking thumb is sore. So it's like just move it on. I don't care either way, but give me an answer. And if it's not what it is, then great, move on. It's not. Just move on. I'm fed up with it.
Yeah. No, I hear you, Mart. I think like Richie. I think by the end of July we'll know one way or the other, and I kind of feel the way you do. I mean, if it's all good news, great, but I kind of want to know when. I want to know when. If we get good news, I want them to say it will be done by X. That's what I want. Even if they go, it will be done by December. On December the 12th, you're going to find out. I could kind of live with that because then at least we've got a date, we know. And this whole fiasco has just dragged on far too long, hasn't it? And I appreciate, it's got to be private, confidential. I understand that. But then there does come a point where you think, hang on a minute. They do kind of need to update us. They do need to let us know what's going on. And hopefully, as I say, that's around the corner. Hopefully July will be a big month for us and we find out. I still feel really positive about it, but I don't know what it is. I suppose because I know it's drawing to a close, I'm kind of starting to think, all this silence, if you look at it from an outsider looking in, the silence over the past few months has been deafening, hasn't it? And that's really what it should have been.
The last few weeks has died down.
Yeah, it has.
I just hope it's not a bullseye moment, and we get everything we want. We win a speedboat, but then we're like people who live in fucking Leicester and we're nowhere near the sea.
yeah. It's I don't know. I'm hopeful, as Liam Kennedy always says. I am hopeful, But I do want to either draw the line under it. Either we get it or we don't get it, and we move on.
Yeah,
because
I think a massive thing is I think you need to switch off from it.
Yeah,
because whatever is going on in the background is going on, and at this stage, and I'm sure Pete is leaning back there towards his wall. I'm sure he's got a can of gin and tonic down to the right hand side of him there.
No, I'm not.
Have you not? Oh, I thought you would have. Maybe you're still suffering from the weekend. But I think sometimes you just need to switch off. You need to stop looking at Twitter. You need to take that little break away, and you just need to just not get wrapped up in it. Like people have put some comments up tonight. I've seen stuff, like in-house fighting, people giving it shit about this, that, and the other. Who's in the know? Who's not in the know? Lads, fucking none of us know. Nobody. Not Mouth of the Tyne. Not Steve Wraith. Not fucking anybody. Right?
Not that Toon review guy, Paul.
Yeah,
either.
Not that Toon review guy, Paul.
You should be on Love Island right now.
Exactly. Yeah, he should be on Love Island. But nobody knows other than the Legal Beagles, Mike Ashley, the consortium. Nobody knows. Go on, Paul, lad. Get those Speedos on you, big boy, yeah. But nobody knows. So, refreshing Twitter 55 times a day, plain spotting, everything else. Okay, it's a great read and get your hopes up. But lads, switch off. And I take you very much back. One more very quick shout out to the big fight for George. Focus on the things that are important in your life. Your kids, your family, your health. Takeovers, owners, clubs, everything else. Come and go, phases. It'll happen or it won't happen. Focus on the things that you have that are the reality around you and treasure what you have. Very simple for me.
For me, I'm going to jump in. I'm saying, yeah, we might hear some kind of news towards July, but August, I think in August. I don't know.
You're not in the know.
No. Jesus, no. Far from it. Pete, do you want to weigh in?
I couldn't give a shit, to be honest.
Good man, lad.
Straight answer.
Pete, you're starting to sound like me, lad, with the whole thing.
I just want to know one way or the other. I couldn't give two shits, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you, bro.
I'm bored.
Okay. I think it's time for a song. I think you mentioned we mentioned Love Island. You mentioned Speedos, Martin. We mentioned Paul from the Toon Review.
On, Paul from the Toon Review.
I think it's time for a bit of shrinkage.
I need to get some rest. It's all in my head. I need to get some sleep and just learn to breathe. Well, that's what she said. I need to take some time and take the weight off my mind, because I'm losing touch. This is all too much. Oh, this is my life in decline. She's trying to help with my mind. She's trying to fix what she finds. But I don't think it's helping at all. No, I don't think it's helping at all. I take it. They say I'm never shaky. I'm fighting with no energy. I am my worst enemy. I take it. They say I'm never shaky. I'm fighting with no energy. I am my worst enemy. I'm giving it all that I have. I'm leaving it all
What a tune!
That's a great tune.
Great tune.
That is an
Love
awesome
it.
tune.
Love it. Where are we going next? Yeah, because we're just all winging it tonight. We're just well, every night we wing it, but we usually have some kind of a game plan to follow.
I don't.
No, you always wing it, Martin. So what do you have then?
What are we? Yeah, it's like 12:15. 12:15? No, it's not. I can't even tell the time. That's why I have no plan. Yeah, I don't know. Look, how many songs have you got? More songs there, Daz?
Yeah, I've got songs that keep us here till 12 o'clock tonight.
Yeah,
so
well, I'm
we won't be playing all them.
Let's say why don't we start to do a bit of a wrap up and say a few thanks and goodbyes and whatever else. Because heading towards 10:30, we have a handful. We have around 10 or 12 people watching there. You know.
Time to say goodbye.
I think let's go round. Starting. You know, I think probably maybe me and Daz last because we kind of kicked this all off a long time back. So Pete, let's start with you. You were the final addition to the Motley Five. What do you want to say to anybody that's out there that's watching and what we've got coming? What's your thoughts, pal?
All I'll say is just keep tuning in because it's going to get better.
Yeah. I fucking told you he should. I told you, Daz, he should have been our marketing manager, man. He just has this one liner. It's like fucking Marmite.
Not here to market. That's what that's what you're here for, Martin.
Yeah,
let's talk football.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you, pal. I'm with you. Pete looks like he wants to kill someone. Yeah.
Okay, Richie, you were next. After you were fourth to join us.
Yeah. Lads. Well, to start, I want to say thank you for all you for inviting us to be part of this journey. You know, I've loved every single second of it since we've done it, and you know, we have a good laugh off this show as well. You know what I mean? We're like a band of brothers now, second family type thing. So, and to be fair, you know, it's a shame to see Loaded Football finish, but as I said, we're fine tuning this animal, and it's going to go in a much better direction. So, as Pete said, keep on just watching and see what it get better and better each week.
Nice and Rich. Chris, we go to you next.
Yeah, I just want to say a massive thanks to two sets of people. So the first set of people is obviously for everyone who's tunes in regularly. Really appreciate you following us, and we've had loads of fun and really enjoyed it. And like Pete said, looking forward to future shows. It'll be great. And secondly, I want to say massive thanks to Daz, Pete, Rich, and Martin. It's been great sharing these shows with you all. Particular thanks to Daz and Martin, because I know they've been putting loads of effort in, and obviously so has Rich when Rich joins on as well. So massive thanks. Me and Pete are relatively new. Well, I'm not that new, but Pete's relatively new. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing all these new shows. Really am, and it'll be great. And I'm looking forward to getting involved in all different things and seeing where it takes us. And I think it was Rich who said, it would be exciting to see where we go with it, because it's become something that we do every week, and we enjoy doing it. So it'll be nice to go off on different tangents, but main thing is the five will stick together and we keep producing some really good content for everyone.
Cheers, Chris. Martin, do you want to go next, or will I go next?
No, I'll go. I think what I would say, without it's great having Richie, Pete, and Chris, because they're people that, for me personally, have supported me through a particularly tumultuous year. I would say, with my struggles, it's great every week coming on and doing something with people I enjoy being around. That in the background when we're on Twitter or when we're on our private chat group, I enjoy having a bit of banter with. But I think the biggest shout out and thanks I can probably give is to Daz, because without my little partner in crime, this would never have got off the ground. Well, with my big partner in crime, it would never have got off the ground. And I think to have somebody that I get on with so well, who gets me and lets me go off, ad lib and do stuff. But I think what can't be underestimated that people that watch the show and people that follow us on Twitter and whatever else don't understand is how much effort that guy puts in to getting these shows prepared, to putting up scripts, to, the 55 slides he does when we do a plan meeting and all the other stuff. So I just genuinely want to say a massive, massive thanks to Daz for all the effort that he's put in since we got this cranked up. And I know we're going to do, different shows and everything else. But I think Loaded HQ as a channel would not be what it is without what he's put into it. So he can be a knob, you're right. Yeah, he is a bit of a knob. The Love Island show, I can get around. Daz did start that, but I did say, Paul, you would get payback. But yeah, so my massive thanks. Listen, all the boys, I love being on with everyone, but my thanks goes out to Daz because I think without him, it wouldn't have been what it was and what it is.
Cheers, Martin. For me, I remember a guy at work said to me, telling him that I was on YouTube channel, and Newcastle YouTube channel, and he said, you'll have your own show soon and blah blah blah, and I said, I'll never be that sad to be on my own show. I have a YouTube channel, no way. And then a couple of weeks later, Martin contacted me and said, let's put a channel together. And I said, let's focus on Newcastle. And then this other day we go to kind of the soccer aim route, and that's what we've kind of done. And I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed working with all the lads. It's not work; it's a bit of crack. And yeah. I do kind of get into it. I get so wound up in it, and I wanted to make it the best it can be. And yeah, we did our best with this show. And we, like, if you think back, our first ever show, we had 1,000 views on Steve Wraith's channel. So like, it's dropped a bit since then, but it's not. I think there's a place for this type of kind of a show, but maybe we need to be bigger and be a bit more a household name before you could go back to something like this. But yeah, and just like to thank everyone, and especially thank the viewers as well, the regulars. There's too many to mention, and those that watched it
on Paul Foster, Tom Dixon, Dave Harrison, John Justice Allen, Paul from Toon Review, everybody that's watched. It's
exactly
everyone. The fact that even only one person watches, for me, I would put this show out and other shows if only one person watched, because that makes it worth it. That somebody has enough time in their day to listen to the five of us chat shite and talk about the things we love.
And we've had loads of different kind of sections as well, and it was great to have bringing people on the show, and the bands. That's where we had this show tonight. We didn't even get to half the songs we had in the system, and we didn't. There's plenty of bands as well that we didn't even get on to put on the system. Someone should sign up these bands. They're out there. They're doing brilliant. Like, and we love the tunes. That's the only music I listen to nowadays is our playlist. Absolutely love it. But yeah, look, I'm rambling on here. But yeah, special thanks to Martin as well for the idea in the first place, and I think we're going to could really go somewhere with the different side shows, the Loaded Lounge as well. But I think this one is going to be our key, the Loaded Mag. So stick with us on this, and I think most of our followers are Newcastle fans as well. So yeah, we've got some big things and good things planned there, and link it up with, as we mentioned, and Loaded Mag, linking up with other shows as well. So, but thanks to all the lads, to Chris, to Richie, to Martin, to Pete, and people here that are on. And it's just this show that's dying. The channel isn't dying. We're not gone away yet.
No.
So to wrap it up, then guys, I'm going to play one last tune, and I think this tune we might link into what we were talking about. I'm going to play The Void, Fallen Empire. Loaded Football Weekly has fallen, but we will rise again in the form of Loaded Mag and Loaded Lounge and so on and so forth. Thanks everyone for watching and sticking with us. See you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, lads.
Loaded Weekly out.